Hello and welcome to the Phoenix Podcast. We are here today with Dale Spilker. Gonna ask you who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it, and why you continue to do it. Let's start off with who you are.
Okay, my name is Dale Spilker. I'm the welding instructor here at Arcadia. I also teach students from pretty much all of the high schools here in Accomack County.
Okay. How long have you been doing this for?
Well, I've been an instructor here at Arcadia for 5 years, but I've been teaching for several other years. I would probably say maybe 7 or 8 years all combined, at the community college level, at the industrial level, and then obviously now at the high school.
So what else did you teach? Just always welding or anything else?
Always welding. Well, I've taught some classes on nuclear fabrication and things like that in the industry side, but it's all been welding related, or the content's been presented to welders. So pretty much that kind of stuff.
Okay, and what is nuclear fabrication?
So it's building nuclear reactors of sorts. So
Like for submarine?
Not quite for submarines, but you're pretty dead on. But I was building commercial nuclear reactors, so for nuclear power of your home, essentially.
Okay.
So the parts that we were building were going to the states of South Carolina and the state of Georgia.
Okay.
Yep. Pretty cool stuff.
And what made you get into welding?
There's a long answer to this. So when I was in high school, I really didn't know what I was going to do. And I, just like a lot of other Badger students, I was talked to about the Badger program, and I started to gauge a little bit of interest in the Badger program. And I initially was interested in taking the carpentry class that we offer down at Nandua. And my sole purpose for taking that class was I wanted to build a skateboard ramp because I was a big skateboarder. And I came home and I told my mom what my plans were. And the quote out of her mouth was a little bit more vulgar than this, but she pretty much said, you don't want to be a roofer for a living because the work's very hot. It's, you're on a roof all the time, all of that kind of stuff. In the winter, it's hard to do that kind of work. A lot of different things to do with the elements. So I ended up with welding, and welding is still hot and everything like that. But I figured welding would be perfect because I can still build a skateboard rail. And funny enough, I never built a skateboard rail, but that was my interest in it. And I was always interested in art, and welding is very artistic. So I took the class with really no expectations, and then it ended up turning into possibly a lifelong career for me.
Okay, and do you teach anything besides welding or just welding?
Here at the school, I just teach welding. I don't really have any other interests other than welding. Like, I'm not a math guy or anything like that. In high school, I did horrible at all those subjects, hated all my teachers. So I don't think I'd be interested in teaching much more than that. But obviously in class, we teach some life skills. We do resumes, all those kind of things. So yeah, it's welding, but we also do some other things as well.
And why do you continue to teach welding and weld yourself?
Because here on the shore, a lot of our students, if you're not necessarily college bound, then the opportunities are very, very limited. And they're limited in the respect of finding a job that's going to pay you well to the point that you don't have to worry about, your next paycheck or something like that. You're able to afford all your bills, and then you're able to improve upon your life throughout your career. Now, that industry or that side of things here on the Eastern Shore is lacking unless you go and obtain a 4-year degree, and then with that degree you actually obtain a position here on the shore that pays you in that respect. Now, my commitment is to the students here in Accomack is to allow them to not go that route, but then still be able to provide for themselves and make a decent living, and then build upon that. Maybe go the engineering route or something like that.
Okay, and just to learn a little more about you, are you married?
I am. Gosh, you put me on the spot here. I think I've been married for 5 years, maybe 6 years, something like that. I don't have any children or anything like that. My wife's a pharmacist.
Okay. You have any businesses outside of school?
Yes, I do. So I run a business. Its name is High Tide Fabrication. It initially started off as a welding company, but we've transitioned to doing laser engraving work. I make custom duct calls. We do a lot of different things. Pretty much anything that'll sell in like a craft market setting, we try to get involved in one way or another.
How would you say our school, as like a community and a feeling, a situationship, how do you feel about it? Is it positive, negative, toxic, non-toxic?
And I have a very limited perspective on this because I'm in the back of the building. I have limited interaction really at this point with Arcadia students. A lot of my students are from other schools. But my impression is I feel like the environment here at Arcadia is better than any other environment in any other high school here in our county. And I would go out and say that, probably even further than that, but I feel like our leadership here in this building, Mr. O'Shea, I feel like he's invaluable. And as a boss, and this is coming from the perspective of somebody that's worked in industry and had bad bosses. I've had good bosses and those kind of things. I really truly feel like he's a leader, and he, I've heard him say on multiple occasions that whatever's best for the students. Now, you guys as students may not fully understand that, but sometimes, it's really, really hard with all the rules that they have in place for teachers and all of those kind of things to do exactly what's best for the students, and he'll truly backs that up. What's best for the students is what gets done.
Okay, so from your description of it, I would say it's positive.
Oh yeah, certainly positive.
Quite a non-toxic learning space. So you've been teaching here for 5 years. Have you enjoyed your time here?
Yeah, very much so. I don't think I would really want to be anywhere else. Teaching welding, and obviously I've taught welding at Eastern Shore Community College and places like that, and I enjoyed my experience there. But I really feel home here. Little backstory is I bet my welding instructor that I would take his job, and I bet him $100 when I was in 11th grade that I would take his job. And it was kind of a laughable experience because I was coming from the standpoint of somebody that didn't really get good grades in school, wasn't really like your traditional person in school that you would think would be a teacher. And I ended up taking his position. So throughout my career, I've been motivated to come back and work here, specifically for the students in Arcadia and Accomack County. And my commitment wasn't just to win that $100, but it was mainly to serve the students here in this county with getting, a better education, more experience, and a job that they didn't necessarily have to pay $50,000 or $60,000 to go and do, like you would on a 4-year track.
So you're a graduate from Arcadia High School or Atlantic High School?
I'm actually a graduate of Chincoteague High School.
Okay.
And I'm 34 years old, so I'm not quite old enough to be
You're not ancient from Atlantic High
Yep.
School.
Yep.
So did you go here?
I went here for welding.
Okay.
So my junior year.
So welding's always been here.
Yep, welding has always been here. It's been here for, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say like over 50 years. But yeah, I took my welding class here in my senior year. This is kind of interesting. I spent my whole entire senior year here at Arcadia. Mm-hmm. So I did not attend classes at CHS at all.
So you just had welding all day?
I had welding. I had some math, some English here. But they had to move my schedule to Arcadia just because Chincoteague couldn't create the same schedule over there for all the classes that I needed.
So how would you say from, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
More than that at this
16,
point?
something like that.
How would you say the experience in learning and welding has graduated from there? How far has it come?
It's
from what you learn to what you teach nowadays. Has it gotten better, gotten worse, safety-wise,
I feel like it's gotten a lot better, and I brought a lot of experience. And like I said, my goal from entering industry was always to come back and teach. So every experience that I've gained in industry was pretty much to bring back to the students here. Whether it was 10 years ago that I gained that experience or just recently, maybe 5 years ago that I gained that experience. It was all to bring it back to the students here. So I try to instill that in my teaching on a day-to-day, bring stories and stuff like that to the classroom.
Okay. You have anything else you would like to add? Well, actually, do you have any advice for the younger generation?
That's a hard one. Be on time.
Be on time?
Be on time. And being on time means you're showing up early. I think that's the main one. And I talk to employers all the time, and that's one of the hardest things that they have with employees is having people that show up on time and they're ready to work on a day-to-day basis. There's a lot of other advice that I could give, but I think that's a very, very simple one.
Did you have issues with that as a student or as a worker yourself, being on time?
No, I did not. I'm a very, very regimented person, but I feel for the people that do struggle with that because I feel like it's a pretty hard thing to overcome, but I feel like just instilling a little bit of discipline into your day-to-day schedule will help you with being early and being on time for things.
Okay, well, I thank you, Dale. It has been a pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for coming out and talking to me.
Thank you.